Over 7 billion people have died or become infected by an outbreak of a mutant form of rabies that transmits from animals to humans. After being bitten, a person becomes rabid in 90 seconds. When they were attacked, Morgan and his wife Janet were in a car. He was still human and could converse with the infected despite the fact that they were also afflicted. Now that the US military, a sizable number of citizens, and CDC scientists are gathered in an underground nuclear base, Morgan and virologist Dr. Gina Rose bring in the sick and question them in an attempt to identify patient zero and come up with a treatment. Colonel Knox's attraction to Gina during her personal relationship with Morgan exacerbates the issues Gina already faces with Morgan. Janet, who is detained in the underground base along with other captives, receives a visit from Morgan. Morgan's blood is used in the experimental treatment that she is receiving. Gina is shown holding a pregnancy test that is positive. When a person opens his eyes and attacks the soldiers and staff, the bodies of fallen soldiers are being incinerated. Following a confrontation with Knox one-on-one, he becomes quiet and requests to talk with Morgan in particular. Morgan is taken aback to learn that the patient is unaffected by the music that has made the other infected person furious. He even pulls a cigarette out of his pocket and lights up. The team believes he has a tight relationship with patient zero. The sufferer discloses that he was a college professor and that, during one of his lectures, the infected assaulted his school. Despite being bitten, he still possesses the majority of human talents. Morgan is informed by the professor that the infected are evolved humans, the highest-ranking species in the food chain. Their argument makes Morgan suspicious, and soon after, he discovers that one of their earlier patients, Pete Townsend, has a transmitter sewed within his chest, indicating that the infected set a trap to discover the location of the facility. Inside, the infected swarmed, killing or infecting every human being, including bystanders. Now that the infected had overtaken the area, Knox shoots his commander to hold them down long enough for him and Gina to reach the elevator. Gina snatches his gun, horrified at what he's done. He makes an effort to express his desire to keep her alive. Knox is killed when the gun goes off during their tussle. Gina discovers Morgan releasing Janet when she visits the cells housing the sick. Gina begs him to leave Janet because the therapies are effective, albeit only momentarily, but he refuses. They enter Gina's lab surreptitiously, take her samples, and squeeze through the vents. Janet kills the diseased lab rat they come upon before it infects Gina. They arrive at the parking lot, which is slightly below ground. The professor approaches them and tells them that Morgan is the reason he came to the base. Morgan poses a threat to their life and is considered their patient zero. The professor begins referring to other infected after they struggle, and Morgan eventually impales him with a pipe. The group runs away, but Janet senses that Gina is pregnant and begs them to escape so she can buy them some time. She also tells Morgan he had to leave her in order to save the baby. Morgan is diverted by this for a brief period of time, allowing Janet to shut a huge vault door and halt the horde. Janet mouths "I love you" as she wipes a tear from her face through the door's window, signifying that the treatment was helping her cry again and regaining her humanity. After following the tunnel into the woods, Morgan and Gina discover a motorcycle. Riding off into the darkness, Morgan realizes he has to do whatever it takes to protect their infant and possibly save some semblance of humanity.